So I'm going to show you today how to fix the high beam on a 2012. This also works for 207 through 212 Honda CBR 600RR. I've been having this problem every time I switch on my high beam. It sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't. So I'm going to show you right now some steps that you can do to try to diagnose and figure out what the problem is, because in my situation I thought it was the headlight when, as a matter of fact, it was not. So right now we're on the left side of the motorcycle. This is where the high beam light is located. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn this counterclockwise and it'll just pull out. Be careful, there's a rubber gasket around this right there. You don't want to lose that, because then water can actually leak in there. Alright. So if you take a look, you don't worry, even if the bike is on, you won't electrify yourself. This is only 12 volts. So this is the actual light bulb. There's a screw right here. This screw holds this metallic piece that kind of comes like this around, and it sticks to the bottom into a hole. You want to unscrew that and it'll just get loose. Be careful not to lose the screw or this metal piece right there. You probably want to use a short screwdriver.
And then just basically unscrew it. Oh, this is really annoying. There you go.
Be careful not to lose that and not to lose the screwdriver. I usually try to like make a small turn for it just so it can stick in there so it won't fall. And then you can just pull it out. There you go. And now all you gotta do is just hold the light bulb from here and just basically try to wiggle it out. And just put some pressure on it. Make sure you're holding it from the metal part, not from the glass, because this could break in your hand and injure yourself. So before you go ahead and buy a brand new bulb, there's a few ways that you can basically check if it's still functional. Do you see this little kind of like a spring in there? It looks intact, so this light bulb should still be working. You should be able to track it between the two poles. As you see here, there's basically two metal parts holding this long one right here and this little small one right there. You should be able to track this kind of I don't know if it's still a tungsten filament that they still use like in the old days, but you should be able to track it from this pole to that pole. Another way you can use to check to see if the light bulb is still working is to actually use a voltmeter. If it has the capability to measure ohms, which is resistance, basically you can set it to the lowest resistance possible, which here is 200. And as you can see here, it's like at the max, it's reading 1. When you connect these two poles together, notice what happens. It's supposed to read something. So separate, connect, it's supposed to give you a reading. And it's supposed to continue falling down. I'm having a hard time keeping them connected because I'm using one hand. So if the filament is actually connected to both sides, if I connect these two together right there, it should give me a good, or some sort of a read or something. Now I'm able to get it. Notice how when they're connected, I'm getting some sort of a resistance in between. So once you figure it out that the light bulb is working fine, we need to make sure that is there electricity coming to this pole right here. So you can get basically we're gonna have to use the voltmeter again. Plug the poles in, it doesn't matter where you put it. Basically if you had them reversed, the voltmeter will just read it as negative, which is fine. You just want to make sure that there's a reading, and that's what we're concerned about. So we put the two poles in there. Now we're gonna switch it to 20 volts, because we're supposed to be getting 12 volts over there, and switch the bike on. Okay, And now we're going to flip the switch on. We're going to see if we get any reading. Okay, so we're getting about 11.8, so almost 12 volts. So that's what's supposed to happen. I don't know if you actually noticed a click, not the click of the switch, but here, we'll try to do this again. I don't know if the noise, there's like a clicking noise that's coming out every time I flip the switch on and off. So it's working fine now, which was the case when I was riding, except that, you know, just occasionally sometimes I flip it on, it doesn't work. I have to flip it back on and off several times for it to actually come on. So we are getting power there. The light bulb is fine. The switch is working, because the problem could also be from the switch. When you flip it, it's not giving a good contact, but it is. See if the problem happens again. Nope, it's not. So anyways, while I was flipping the switch on and off, I kept on hearing a clicking noise. So I followed it, and then I figured out that there's actually a relay for the headlight. See that headlight relay? So this relay right here was working sometimes, and some other times it would just get stuck. Now all I need to do is remove this relay, or I can just order it online or whatever. So basically you just, you know, wang it out like that, and it comes out. This is what it looks like. So I called my local power sports place. They carry Honda parts, and I asked them if they have it, and they do carry it. So I went over there, purchased one, opened it up, and all you gotta do is just put it back in. Make sure I have those in the correct way. No, it's supposed to be like that. Make sure the teeth are in the right direction, otherwise it won't go in. Push it back in there, and then you gotta set this back in the right way, and there we go. Alright, and one last thing, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, putting this thing back together is a little bit annoying, especially when you're trying to place this metal piece back. So just make sure that this part is supposed to go into this hook right there, and you're supposed to hook it in, and it's supposed to be like this, basically. I want you to take a look at the shape exactly. It's supposed to sit like that. Okay? Pretty much the easiest way to do it is put the light bulb in, okay? It has an edge to it that's supposed to be it's supposed to go in like the right spot. I don't know if I could show it from here. I mean, the space that they give you to work with here is so small. So to actually work and be able to put this metal piece back on, I found the best way is to, you know, turn the bar all the way to the left, okay? And make sure it's fitted in the right place, and then use your right hand or so and just try to, the most important thing is to get this little tip part into that hook, and then push it forward, and then you'll be able to screw it back on. It's a little bit tough, but you know, you just have to try your best. So there you go, I got it on. I'm gonna have to turn the camera off right now because I need my other hand. Finally, we need to put this cap back on. Just notice that it has these teeth around it, okay, and you gotta turn it clockwise to fit it in. Just keep on rotating it around till you actually get it in, or you can actually try to see where the spots are to fit it. This is not that hard to put back on.